Yes, sir. Cheesy made this simmer, you don't know. I can't kick it through the front door, screaming that my God reigns. That ain't what they want, though. They just want that octane. I ain't finna run, no. Basking in the sun, bro. They pull off in that Bronco. Baby, I was built for this. 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 I was built, throw it. I was built for this. From the ground up, baby, I was built for this. No, they gon' try to stab me. Talking like Mike me proudly. I'm going to pay Gabby. I already tried the lobby toast. I saw with the heavenly hosts. They say I be doing the most. It's spooky, I run with the ghost. Can't take my balls. I just like to brag about my God, you know the name. That's why we overlook, we under him, you know the lane. Built on golden, see too cold, like this my golden game. I shoot my shot like I got buckets, all I do is game.
What's up, y'all? So, welcome to our edition of Playing in Traffic. Let's get the antics out of the way. Y'all know who I am. I would be the Baby Whisperer. So, let's get very formal. I would be Captain Williams Madden. That would be me. They call me Captain Whisper, but let's just say it like that. So, I got a couple things I want to talk to y'all parents about. Because a lot of y'all parents have been asking me, Baby Whisper, talk about this, talk about that, talk about this. Yet, a lot of y'all not ready when I started talking about things. So, let me get this turned all the way up so y'all can hear. Now, I'm in the Savage Room. However, come next year, the Savage Room, the Whispering Room, and the Investigation Room will be all in one place in our Whisper Hut. So, we just gonna have different things up. Right now, we in the middle of moving and all kinds of things. But today is December 23rd, 2024. This marks the first edition of Whisper Investigations. A lot of y'all been asking who we are, what we do. I'm going to have some videos coming out with our Hunter special. And it's going to be teaching y'all about the good guys. And that's exactly what it's named. The good guys. No, we're not checking. Well, we can be, but that's not the point. Anyway, so, parents, let's talk about something. So, y'all know I like to start off with some antics. No, I don't have my handy dandy notebook because there's a lot going on. And if you are following us on our channels, you know that's a lot going on. But I'm going to break this down so easy. And since I can't be in the conferences where everybody is, shalom, assalamu alaikum, I know that most of y'all are watching me from New York as I'm going to send this to Homeland Security. So if you are a whisperer, you are getting something that I'm going to send some of my teaching off to some of the people, the big dogs on the ground, that we all train completely different. But these are aspects of from what I have seen, and with the 26 years of dealing with what we deal with now, 26 years, I'm 42, that's half my lifetime. I've been seeing things like this, and this is why I call it playing in traffic. So, let me do what I'm supposed to always do. Every year, millions of individuals fall victim to human trafficking, a heinous crime that strips people of their freedom, safety, and dignity. Often operating in the shadows, traffickers exploit vulnerabilities, manipulating victims into unimaginable circumstances for profit. For families, the nightmare often begins with a missing loved one, leaving behind unanswered questions, fear, and heartbreak. Human trafficking is not just a distant issue. It exists in our communities, hidden in plain sight. Whether it is a child groomed online, a teenager lured into false promises, or an adult trapped in a labor exploitation, the consequences is devastating. Parents, guardians, and loved ones play a critical role in preventing these tragedies, but awareness and knowledge are the key to staying one step ahead of traffickers. This guide delves into the intricate web of human trafficking and its links to missing people cases. We'll explore the tactics of traffickers using the terms, they employ to master operations, and the devastating impact of victims and families. Most importantly, we'll arm you with tactic tools to prevent trafficking, recognize the warning signs, and act decisively if someone you love goes missing. Yes, the baby was reading her own stuff. That's not the point. Anyway, so understanding the dangers of playing in traffic is not just saving lives. It's about empowering families and communities to dismantle the system and allow trafficking to dismantle the system that allows trafficking to thrive. If I can talk today, it'd be great. Anyway, together we can protect those we love and create a safer world for all. Now, normally when I start stumbling, I will take it and I will go and redo it. I'm not doing that. I'm going to give you the raw part, because everybody seems to think that this is one thing that the Baby Whisperer movement does. It's not. This is a part. The Whisper investigation is a part of the Baby Whisperer movement. There are 4 parts of the Baby Whisperer movement. If you don't know all 4 parts, you definitely need to join us on the Patreon page, as I'm going to let you know what 4 parts are what. So everybody can stop saying we do one simple thing, because we don't. What you don't understand is that this part right here is very devastating for most families, because a lot of families get caught in these parts of playing in traffic. If you didn't know about Traffik, Traffik has 19 sectors. Inside of each 19 sectors, there's a small semi-pocket. Inside of any semi-pocket, there's a ring. Anyway, so I'm going to welcome you. Then I want you to take out a pen and a piece of paper, whatever you got to do. So if you're on YouTube and you're watching this right now, then you're going to see half of this video. You're going to have to go over to the Patreon page, which is patreon.com// the Baby Whisperer movement. The full video is going to be put up on there. The reason why I'm doing that is because the last time I did something truthful and put it on YouTube, I got a warning. Not surprised. If you're on TikTok and you're seeing half of this video, you're going to see half of the video at the beginning, and I'm going to have a pause. After that pause, the video will be cut off, and you're going to have to go either to YouTube, but save yourself some trouble and just go on to the Patreon page. Yes, you're going to have to sign in the Patreon page, and if you want to see the full video, you're going to have to pay what is into the Whispers. Now, I'm changing things because I realize that a lot of people are tied into things so much that I have to protect the Whisper movement now, because I've realized that so many people on the internet are tied into other things. That's how they make their money. Money is what makes the world go round. So let's talk about the antics. What is the definition of human trafficking? Some of you are going to be yelling at the TV right now. It's when people get slaved into doing things. The official definition. Now, I need you parents to understand the importance of knowing the official definition. When you're going against people of big industries, let's put it that way, you need to know the legal definition, and you need to know what we call the lawful definition. Legal was built off of lawful. Our legal system was built off of the original lawful system, which, a man finds a place he can build on and build it for his family, build it up, and it becomes his. You remember that, back in the Wild Wild West days? Wild Wild West wasn't so wild that we think about it. We actually now have more of a Wild Wild West than they did back in the day. Definition of human trafficking. A global crime involving the exploitation of an individual for labor, sex, or other form of abuse. Now, I want to get this very much out there, because everybody's thinking that trafficking is just about sex. It's not. I've said it 100 times that trafficking has a lot going on in it. And I'm going to call it the T-ball. Now, I'm going to say T-ball because I'm going to use some code words. Code words are very good because A, people who watch your videos who don't know what the hell's going on, they're just going to go past it. B, a lot of people who do know what's going on, they like to report videos like giving you information. T-balling has a lot of people that benefit from it. When it says labor, some of you forget about that some of these children and women and men that are being stolen, go missing, they're not just going into the sex part of it. They're going into industries that, make your clothes, maybe your phone, maybe your table, maybe your dining room table you paid a whole lot of money for. There are other avenues that they use these people for. How about building a farm? How about picking cotton? How about picking sunflowers? Now, statistics. Global figures 27.6 million people traffic annually. International Labor Law Organization. Now, the International Labor Law Organization are the people who tell you about different things that they woo people into and saying that this is going to change your life. And they actually put these people there and it doesn't change their life. It actually makes their life a lot harder because they find out they can't leave. We forget about these parts because we're only stuck on one part. You got to come out of the box. While you're coming out of that box, look at the four corners because there's four corners of danger. Anyway, the alarming connection between missing people cases and human trafficking. Okay, so this is where the government and those of us who they call us the vigilantes. However, the Whisper investigation has more optics and ties, but that's not the point. Anyway, so the vigilantes, they call us because we have the actual statistics. We don't make it sugarcoating. So about 75% of missing people are trafficked for some type of reason. There are three reasonings. There's labor, there's sex, and then there's what we call the black market, which is your organs. Now, a lot of people don't want to talk about this because it is the dark side of human nature. Some of y'all parents need to come up to par with this because these predators have changed the way they come at our children. They've even put themselves in a mask, Scooby-Doo say. I love Scooby-Doo, so all y'all who want to know, Tasmanian Devil and Scooby-Doo, I love Scooby-Doo because Scooby-Doo loves to unmask people. Like, if you put on a black robe, doesn't mean you don't have skeletons in your closet. Perhaps if you wear a shiny badge, you still have a fetish for something you have no business. Or if you get up there and teach our children and you like to deal with other children. You see, we are all still human when we take off that facade. The difference between a lot of us hunters and predators is we have no facade. Who we are is people who want to find you motherfuckers. That's who we are. We are trained and driven for the truth, the voiceless. When we say voiceless, we're talking about the people who have been manipulated, exploited, and still being hunted. Now, a lot of y'all want to know why I keep calling myself a hunter. If you check out my TikTok and my Facebook and my Patreon page, I'm going to start putting the series of Whispering Hunts. Now, it's going to be teaching you different terms and technologies. And why I'm talking about terms, I'm going to talk about the importance of awareness. But while I'm here, I'm going to talk about something. A lot of you guys have been around words, and you want to know why I keep telling you words are important. Words are important because people say things, and you don't even know they're triggering each other. Why you think they on cell phones in the store while they watching people? Why you think they in the car and they got their phone right here and they just is tapping on it and you don't even know what they saying? And if we, by the way, this is my phone. Anyway, my boys, look at that. Anyway, so if you see somebody doing this and you wonder why when they pull somebody over, only the trained eye knows the words. Which I'm going to start teaching you parents some words in 2025 in my To Catch a Predator series. That series doesn't come out, though, until my baby boy's getting to graduate. That's not the point. So, let's throw some goodness in there. Because, people like to look at videos and say stupid things. Anyway, so, let's talk about the awareness. Now, I've already told you there's a call in action for parents and guardians. But I need you guys to understand the importance of vigilance and the importance of education. A lot of us say there's an importance of vigilance and education, and we talk about how we are training each other how to see things. We are actually teaching prejudice to ourselves and to people to know what they're supposed to be looking at. Now, a lot of y'all gonna be like, what the hell is the Baby Whisperer talking about? A black man walking down the street with a hoodie on is not a threat. A white man holding a cell phone is. But if you look at society, the white man is not a threat, the black man is. Yet that white man could take a picture. There are statistics out there that say, and don't get mad at me, if you haven't seen my children, you might want to shut the fuck up. But there are statistics out there who say that at least, and I'm going to say at least 68% of Caucasian males have been caught in some kind of extracurricular activities that deals with trafficking. Now, a lot of y'all was told that, people come in this country, and I've said it because it's true. People come in this country, and they come in, their sole purpose to come in this country is to steal, kill, and destroy. That's their sole purpose. However, who the hell is paying the money coming from the bank? Because they don't have a bank account. They don't belong in this country. You gotta at least have an ID or a social security card or something to show your identity tied to the United States to get a bank account. There are questions that you don't want to answer because you want to leave the ethnicity out of it. The problem that we have with human trafficking is that it's a very racial thing. Race means everything when it comes to human trafficking. They put the blonde-haired, blue eyes up top. They put the little black girl down the bottom. And the truth of the matter is, the little black girl is the most highest at stake. I'm not saying that Caucasian kids don't go missing, because they do. They are an opportunity option. Not saying that one is better than the other, because everybody should leave our damn kids alone. What I'm saying is that the racism that we have in this country is costing us our children. I'm going to say it again. It's a little bit slower. The racism that we have in this country is costing our children. And the children that are at the bottom of the totem pole are the ones in the most danger. I'm going to leave that alone because I don't know if this video is going to get taken down. But if it do, it's on my Patreon page. Anyway, so I want you to understand what it is. So this video is going to be very technical. I'm going to be going in and out of subjects, and you're going to be looking like, what the hell she just say? If you got to watch it twice, watch it twice. I'm doing this for a reason, because a lot of you look at the videos that technically teach you exactly what things are, and you don't understand a damn word they say because you can't relate to it. So I need to help you relate to what I'm saying. And if you are one of the people that are about to be training people, I need you to be trainable as you train. And what do I mean? Parents, guardians, teachers. When you're talking about strangers, when you're talking about good stranger, bad stranger, the authoritarian stranger, it goes all into human trafficking. The end line of stranger danger, of pedophile rings, if we're on Patreon, pedophile rings, the end goal of all of that is human trafficking. The dark web has 17 pockets that we don't know about. Or do we? So, what is human trafficking? There are 3 elements. Everything come in threes. Action, recruitment and transportation. Means, coercion and deception. Purpose, exploitation. You see what I'm saying? Action, stranger danger. Means, pedophile rings. Little small pockets. Exploration, predators. Purpose, human trafficking. Everything comes in threes. That is the easiest way that I can break down this for you, so you'll be able to understand what I'm saying. Now I'm going to talk about the technical way how they operate, and then I'm going to break it down for you. So the technical way that traffickers operate is to identify potential victims through social media, dating apps, school, malls, and even workplaces. Hear me again. The technical way that human traffickers find their victims are identifying potential victims through social media apps, dating apps, schools, malls, and even workplaces. Exploiting vulnerability such as poverty, low self-esteem, and family negligence. A lot of you look at me and they have said, that's not possible. We have so many people everywhere. We have cyber units and everything. Traffickers have what is called an absolute oil machine. They are a business. I will put a little slide so you guys can see this. I will put a slide up today, and I'll leave it up on my pages so you guys can see this part of it anyway. Common methods of recruitment. Now, listen, parents, I want you to pull the video up, and I want you to turn this motherfucker all the way up when I tell you they common methods of recruitment. In 2024, we got together and we put together a chart on how they get our children, our young girls, and everybody else. Now listen. The Romeo approach. Pretending to be romantic partners to gain trust. The Romeo approach is used throughout the borderline. It is so easy for traffickers or for predators to use the Romeo approach because everybody wants to feel wanted. This is one of the most dangerous parts ever because the trafficker automatically thinks that you are now their property, not a person. A lot of y'all be saying, well, that person won't even, they catfish me. Be very careful these days of the Romeo approach. Grooming. Grooming has changed. If you watch my video on predatory language and grooming, if you want to see Silent Shadows video, please pay attention. Grooming for our children in 2024 has changed. It is the most devastating part that our children are getting hit with because groomers have become teachers. Groomers have become police officers. Groomers have become lawyers, doctors, dentists. Pay attention, parents. Grooming gradually builds trust and dependence before exploitation. That is the most simplest term I can give you. We're talking about the approaches that they use. Job offers. We seen this back in 2022 and 21, where girls were getting job offers and about modeling or being in some club or champagne girls, whatever that is. Listen, I'm 42. Yeah, I'm in that bubble. Anyway, so, and then they were going to places and they were getting drugged and they were getting stolen. Nobody knew where they went. Job offers. Fake job postings and promises for a better life. Pay attention. I know you guys were thinking everybody can get up here and the internet makes it so easy. The internet has changed the game. Debt bondage. Listen. Manipulating individuals into owing traffickers for food, shelter, and transportation. Now I'm going to talk about this because debt bondage is one of the ones that has came up in 2023 and 24. And 25 has gotten bad. Because a lot of people are taking the homeless. They are putting them into a better situation. And then they owe them. We have to be so careful on how things have changed. Now, a lot of people are going to get upset that I'm exposing what the actual purpose of the tier is. The reason why I'm doing this is because a lot of you parents keep saying, Baby Whisper, you're just fear tacticing. Pay attention, people. This is not 1924. This isn't even 1994. It's not even 2004. We're in 2024, about to hit 2025. They have evoluted. And when I'm not going to say evolved, I'm going to say evoluted. Because they even leveled up while they evolved. And we are so far behind because we want to think, well, that can't happen. Anything can fucking happen in 2.2.9 seconds. Yeah, I said it. 2.2.9 seconds. That means by the time you get to that first bubble, something with the third bubble has already happened. Pay attention. Paying attention is going to let you start seeing things. And when you're paying attention, stop calling yourself crazy. You're not crazy. You saw what you just thought you saw, and now you need to say something so you can fucking see it again, so you can be able to say it again and get it out there. That's why if you see something, say something. Now, let's talk about some terms. So I'm going to give y'all the Federal Bureau of Investigation terms, and then I'm going to give you the whispering terms. However, I'm not going to give you all of the whispering terms. If you are a whisperer, you're going to be able to access what the whispering terms is. That's what we have found out for 2025 coming up. So you're going to have what is extra kick point to place. All right. So, daddy. I know it's just the sickness that people have. Anyway, daddy. A slang term for a trafficker or a pimp. The head of the household is normally the father. The father is the most strongest person. If you have someone call someone daddy, or if you have them call them preacher, be very wary of that person. Not a person that y'all know is a preacher. I would be very wary of them too, but y'all get what I'm saying. There's also another thing that you have to be wary of. And that's if you have somebody call someone, call someone doctor. So, everybody loves for me to, when I do a video, when I'm doing teaching, they love to text me. That's not the point. So, stable. A group of victims controlled by one trafficker. Also, have you heard garden? Also, have you heard take them out to the barnyard? Also, have you heard nope, you're gonna have to wait for that one. Now, bottom bitch. Shh. Yeah, I said it. So, the victim giving power over others to enforce control. We also call this person what we call is the master. We also call this person as the leader. But if you ever hear somebody call themselves the flower, you know exactly what they're doing. The life or the game. Now, I'm going to tell y'all how most of y'all street boys are very pissed off how they did this. They take terms that are already used and they use them to their gain as well. So when they start talking, you might think they're one thing and they're the complete other. So, the life of the game refers to the trafficking lifestyle. It also refers to the street lifestyle. This is how you know if it's a trafficker or if there is a street lifestyle. When they talk about the life of the game, they're going to also talk about the kiddos, the sunflowers, the dragons, the whales, the sea turtles. You have to pay attention to what's going on. Now, you might think it's hippies. But old language comes back and no one pays attention to it because it's innocent. You have to pay attention. Paying attention is one of the biggest things I cannot keep saying. Pay attention. Some of you say, I'm paying attention. I don't know what to look for. You're looking for things that are outside the actual box. While you coming out of the box, watch the four corners. Seasoning. Now, this is one thing. I'm going to skip one. I'm going to go to seasoning, and I'm going to go back to something. But, seasoning. Please pay attention. If you're in a grocery store, if you're in Walmart, if you're in Target, you're anywhere near a store, seasoning. Listen. Methods on breaking down a victim resistance, abuse, starvation, or manipulation. If they say, yes, I've seen the product, but it needs to be seasoned, and they have no food, no nothing in their hands. Take a picture of that person and turn it into somebody. That's all I'm going to say about that. Sorry. Quota. Daily earning the victims are forced to bring in. If you hear people say, I ain't meet my quota today. If you hear a girl that's on the street and she was like, I got a quota to meet. Either she is being pimped or she's in a ring. You think that most of these victims are not allowed to go out and do other things. That's not true. You guys need to take away the broader perspective that you have that Hollywood has gave you. It's not true. It is not always true. Now, there are some cases where what they show you being in filthy places is true, but nobody is going to want to sleep with anybody who's filthy. That is not how they see their fantasies. Stop thinking that. Take away the rose-colored glasses that they gave you. Trick. We all know what a trick is. We know what a trick is. But do you know what a candy store is? Do you know what your favorite bread on the aisle is? Circuit. A certain city or event where trafficker victims are moved and exploited. Concert. VIP party. Freak off. These words are being used and thrown around like it's a big old joke. And they are terms you need to pay attention to. A lot of the times that we don't tell you, the biggest problem that law enforcement has is that a lot of them don't tell you what they need to tell you because they don't want the people to know they know. Listen, they fucking know we know. We done caught half of them. We need to start letting the parents know. Now, when you get the information, whether you use the information is up to you, but you can't say you don't have it. A lot of you have ignorance, and a lot of you are ignorant, but that's not the point. If we start acknowledging you to figure out what is going on, perhaps we can stop things before it gets started. Open that window. Maybe we can stop things before it gets started. Yes, I'm in a real life household. Yes, my children are walking around. And if I don't play about my kids, what the hell make you think I'm about to play about your kids? But anyway, so I'm going to talk about the dangers of trafficking. I'm going to run through this. I really don't know if I'm getting my point across because a lot of you are going to be looking like, 32 minutes in and I don't feel like I'm getting my point across, but I'm trying to hit everything and there's a lot to hit. The physical consequences: violence, sexual abuse, malnutrition, untreated medical issues, the physicology and physical emotional damage, development of PTSD, anxiety, and depression. Victims often suffer from Stockholm Syndrome, making rescues difficult. Life of fear and coercion. Threats of victim families to ensure compliance, constant movement to isolate victims from any potential help. Border and broader social consequences. The spread of drug addiction among victims, challenging and reintegrating victims into the society after rescue. So let me talk about this because a lot of y'all think this shit is easy. Now, for those of you who have been victims of missing or trafficking, you're wondering why you have PTSD and why you have depression. Most of y'all have gained, and please let me make this clear, borderline associate disorder does not come from any of this. Borderline associate disorder comes from when you have crossed the border over and became a predator yourself. You are trying to justify your choices of you know what it feels like, and now you have became the person that you fear. PTSD is completely different than that. PTSD is because all the trauma that you have endured, and now you're in fight or flight mode. The problem with PTSD and victims is a lot of you have not went through what we call the emotional roller coaster of healing. When the most biggest and the most heavy hitters have hit you all at once. And you have to actually dissect it in your own self. Some of you don't have the healing that you need when you come home, which is where we differ from everyone else. When you come home, you have to be ready to be put back in to your family. Not even this society yet, just your family. A lot of you make the mistake of putting your children and the victims back into work, school, and church. If you did not know, some rings go to church. I just told you if you didn't know. When you take your person to the church who has been missing or into something, it can trigger. Triggers and trauma are two different things. The most dangerous part of trafficking and the most dangerous part of rings is that we don't know that trigger and trauma is two different things. We call it the two T's. We got to go have some tea with the first T. Then we got to take the second T and go have some tea with that T, but you can't add the two together. When you deal with trauma, you cannot deal with your triggers. If you take triggers and trauma and put them together, then every time you get triggered, you're going to feel the trauma. And every time you go deal with the trauma, you're going to get triggered. Which is why a lot of people have what they call seizures, or they call situational seizures, or they call situational strokes, or that's why they have them. You have to separate trigger and trauma. Now, to face the trigger, you have to understand the trauma. To understand the trauma, you have to understand it wasn't your fault. To understand it wasn't your fault, you have to know what the hell you are against. The one thing they do for victims is they don't show you your accuser. Perpetrator, persons who did something, they just use you. Basically, they interrogate you. They send you off for a 72 site evaluation, and then they call their job done. Which while you're at home, you get triggered like, a month after you get home, because this is not normal anymore. This is triggering you to the first time you got tooken, because you haven't been in this same place since you left. You're a whole different person coming back. 6 months, let's fast forward 6 months. 6 months on, now that you have gotten used to your family, you have gotten used to the person that you were before you got stolen, you have now tried to integrate that person into the person you are now. Now you're dealing with depression. Fast forward again from that 6 months, we're at a year. A year in, if you don't have what is called active, I don't mean regular therapy, I mean active therapy. If you don't have active therapy, then what's going to happen is that those triggers have turned into traumas and you have new triggers. It takes 4 years after the person has been returned home to get them into what is called a normal state. 4 years after that, which is we're at 8, it takes that person to know that they are not responsible. This is something that happened to them. And most of the time when they get to that 8 years, they learn who put them there. Because despite some of y'all thinking that Hollywood made up this whole story that people just go and automatically steal kids out of nowhere. I'm laughing real hard deep inside myself. So if a lot of y'all watching, I know Homeland gonna watch this, and I know the FBI gonna see this, and I really don't give a fuck, but I'm gonna tell y'all right now, y'all need to stop spoon-fitting bullshit to these people. Listen, everybody who has been taken has a methodical plan behind it. Some of y'all was sold to where you been. Some of y'all sold y'all kids out. Some of y'all sold y'all nephews out. And half of y'all going to hell. But that's not the point. The point is, this is not something that is just done because, ooh, this is just random. The only random acts ever are what is called situational targets. But behind the situational targets, there's always a target. It's just that they can't find what they're looking for. So guess what? You'll do. Let's talk about it. The dangers of trafficking has something to do with the fact that a lot of you are selfish. So let me piss you off right quick. While we 40 minutes in, I got some other things to do. Let me piss you off right quick. A lot of y'all are selfish. Some of y'all see red flags. And because you going to try to manipulate this to your own gain, or you chasing clout, you going to keep your mouth shut. Half of y'all racist. Y'all see some shit and y'all be thinking, you know what? What's another black person off this planet? Ooh, I know I'm about to get in trouble. I don't even give a damn. That's why I said I was going to put this on my Patreon page too. Half of y'all be thinking, if I go over to the other country and I help those brown people, then screw the brown people here. Not knowing that those brown people that you helping is probably going to get paid by one of them traffickers that's going to come for your kids and your grandkids. Yes, I just said it. See, God don't like ugly, and Karma a motherfucking bitch. I done told y'all that. Karma is God's cousin, and she a hell of a bitch. You don't understand that everything is tied. Them shoes on your feet, and I won't call out the names because I need a couple of sponsors this year, but I will. Some of y'all want to know why I'm going to turn some of y'all sponsors down. I don't put on blood money. You can't buy us. And if Chuck was here, he'd be telling y'all a little something. You can't buy us. We don't want your blood money. Keep it. See, y'all be thinking because y'all give to people that y'all going to wrap y'all sales up and y'all going to cover y'all sales. I am not a cover for the bullshit y'all doing. And half of y'all big companies is covering up traffic and labor laws. Because again, traffic comes in 3. Y'all thinking about one part because they want to put all the shine the light on that part. They don't even shine the light right on that part. And they all forget about the laboring traffic. Some of those kids ain't put into what y'all think is just into sex camps. Some of them kids is put into labor camps. You know those iPhones y'all got? Did I just say that? I don't like iPhones anyway. Anyway, so, you know, some of them laptops y'all got. While you sitting on that nice little couch, you might want to see where you bought it from. While you yelling and you going to church and yelling how you love all children, you sure? You want to know why things go on sale for cheap in certain times of the year like Christmas? Anyway, so let's talk about the impact of families when people go missing. So I'm going to throw this in real quickly because a lot of y'all been asked. I've seen somebody get up here and they did what the impact of missing is. And I don't even understand what the girl said. She said that the impact of missing is a hole in your family, which is true. But then she said you need to blame yourself, which is not true. Because some of y'all are so blinded by being sheep. Everything you told you're going to do. And you don't even see the person telling you something is throwing bullshit and shit in your eyes so you can't see. Then they're going to give you some rose-colored glasses and tell you, look at it this way. I want you to look at it this way. Every person in power is a predator. I want you to wake up tomorrow, turn on the TV. Wait a minute. Let me be careful. Because the new president do got a couple of charges. So let me be careful what I say. When you take your kids to school, I don't want you just to trust anybody. I want you to potentially give them a predator test. Let's put it that way. When you take your kids to the doctor, I don't want you to trust everybody. I want you to always be the first line of defense for your kids. I guess that's a better way to put it. The truth is the truth. Don't get mad at me. Shh. Anyway, so emotional trauma, the despair, helplessness, and the grief of not knowing your loved one's whereabouts. Financial and legal hurdles. Hiring private investigators, legal fees, and potential scammers. We're going to talk about this. Traffickers, strategies to keep victims isolated. Forcing victims to cut all ties with families. Psychological manipulation to make victims believe no one is looking for them. Now, let's talk about this. Because a lot of y'all have said, well, we need to vet those of y'all who doing stuff. I'm going to tell y'all how y'all vetting everybody wrong. Just because you have a website does not mean that you are being vetted correctly. Therefore, some of y'all got up there and said, because the Baby Whispherer movement took down their website, because we ain't got no goddamn time, but some of y'all said that vetted us wrong. Can I tell y'all something? There are 4 major groups out there that has a hell of a lot of websites. They have been vetted by the FBI, and their CEOs got taken down for child prostitution. I'm going to tell you how to vet people. The truth that comes out of their mouth. The fact that they don't give a fuck what they say. They're going to tell you how to secure your family. The fact that you actually see them helping. The fact that they go into communities, give you the tea, and tell you where to go and what to do. If you think the government going to keep vetting the right people, I'd like to ask you a question. Why did we have 97%? I'm going to let y'all sink that in. 97% of teachers last year had some kind of a charge. You're going to say, baby, that's not true. That's misinformation. If you dumbasses like to be on the internet, and I'm going to call you a dumbass because y'all be getting on my nerves. If you like to go to the internet, please go to the internet and don't look up the statistics. I want you to pull how many cases you've seen of that they have put out there, because there's more that you haven't seen, of teachers doing inappropriate acts with children. I just want you to pull them. If you go over 50 cases, you heading up high. But I could be the one to tell you right now that there is 2,422 cases that they had last year of teachers doing inappropriate acts with children. And I don't care if they 17 or 18, they still children to me. Now, you're going to say, what does this have to do with trafficking? I just told you in the beginning, if you actually paying attention, that there's 3 pockets of trafficking. 3 pockets of trafficking, which gets you into 17 subsections, which gets you into rings. Which predators always find that person that can break your child before they get to him. If you think that this is not about money, why you think there's dead presidents on the money? Anyway, so let's talk about red flags and warning signs for parents. Now, this is a cliche, so I'm going to break this down real quick for y'all. This is a cliche right here. Behavioral changes. Increase secrecy, withdrawal from loved ones, and certain defiances. Somebody said, what's a certain defiances? If your child start acting up or acting in a certain behavior, then they have seen something they have no business. And stop thinking that it's just adults. Predators have changed what they have to say. And they have changed what they have to say because they have started to use children to lure children. And before you ask, there are definitely have changed themselves into what we call psychopaths. Anyway, the signs of grooming. So I'm going to break this down real quickly. And there's going to be a part 2 to this. So, I'm going to run through something because I'm not going to do the prevention on this one. I'm going to do the prevention on a whole different one. But I'm going to let this come out first. So I'm going to teach y'all the signs of grooming because some of y'all parents still think we in 1994. So unexplained expensive items, clothes, and electronics. Please remember that there are certain things called a Roblox money. Is it called Roblox? Roadblocks? What is it? If y'all wonder what I'm looking at, I'm looking at Chuck Eaton. But is it called Roblox? Yeah, Roblox. There's certain things called Roblox bucks. There's another certain thing called, is it Minecraft money? I don't know. There's digital money. Pay attention, people. Tattoos and branding of specific ownership. Now, please listen to me. If your child has a lotus flower, sunflower, or butterfly attached to them, right now, and you ain't never seen that tattoo before, I want you to go and look. I want you to be like, what's them people called? Be like the IRS when they go through our taxes. I want you to go through their room, their phone, their computer. It is branding, people. Remember I told y'all about the Romeo approach? It is branding, people. If you see dog prints on your child, and they under the age of 16, please go through it. Be like the IRS. Sorry, IRS, if you watching this. We will work for you. But, you know, y'all get on everybody's nerves too. But I ain't a part of your jurisdiction. Anyway, so frequent absence from home and school. Now, I need to make this clear to y'all, because some of y'all kids do not want to be in school for a reason, and that's when we were talking about homeschool and everything else. So I'm gonna talk about that later, and when the prevention. But some of y'all kids don't want to be in school because they see the predators that are in the building. I'm not just talking about the teachers. I'm talking about the kids too. Some kids don't want to be around the energy that comes off. The dominating energy that comes off a predator or a person who is a dog or the daddy or the person who they call the leader of the gang. Most of y'all want to know why they call people coyotes. There's a difference between a wolf and a coyote. You might want to gravitate towards the wolf because the wolf has loyalty to a pack. Most of the time that pack don't want no bullshit in it. That coyote will sell out anybody for any kind of value. Y'all using terms that you don't even know, and you are using dangerous terms, and they using that. Online indicators. For you parents that are from the years of 1998 and down, please pay attention. Secrecy and multiple social media accounts. We as adults do that when we're trying to, not let people know that we own things and everything else. Conversations with strangers using coded language such as emojis, roses, cherries, often signify sexual services. But I'm going to tell y'all something. There were 17 apps found last month that predators had used to get to kids, and especially females 6 and under. It was supposed to be a robot talking to them, an AI robot. Every AI has a programmer. Every robot has a programmer. See, we keep thinking because you playing in traffic, we just talking about when they take the kids and we don't see them and what we supposed to do. We need to start talking about how they groom them, how they bring them in, how they setting them up. This is like a slow dance. I keep saying predatory language and grooming is a slow dance. You don't understand that your child being on that computer or that social media app can be leading them into getting trafficked and missing. Especially some of y'all who are teaching your girls that guys should be giving them compliments on their body and what they look like instead of on their brains. Because some of y'all ain't got no brains. But that's not the point. Just because you stupid don't mean you're supposed to make your daughter stupid or your son. Because you keep thinking that boys aren't a very big part of this. And welcome to 2024. But I hate to tell you, in 1974, boys were targeted more than girls. See, we keep wanting to put a closed capture on everything. We keep wanting to make this all fit in one little box. Can y'all open that goddamn box and come out? And while y'all coming out, watch the four corners. Baby Whisperer, you keep talking about the four corners. What you talking about? You see, in 2025, my biggest push for the Baby Whisperer movement and Whisper investigations is four corners. Traffickers use four corners to take our children. Why can't we use four corners to get them the fuck out of our neighborhoods? Question, everybody. You want to know about trafficking because that's one of the big cases for everybody to focus on. But let's talk about the rings. Let's talk about the pockets. Let's talk about the people in high places that are giving you false information for you to think that your children are safe and they're not. Let's talk about how you can understand terms. Because they not using their new terms. I ain't hear nobody talk about what they say now, cap. I ain't never heard none of that. I heard somebody say that's dope. And that means thumbs up. Y'all know that's from what, 19, that's from our 1992. I heard somebody saying, let's go groovy. That means take an old person. That's from the 60s. Words mean everything. And I've ran through summer playing in traffic because I'm going to leave it open for the prevention, which I'm not doing until next year. This is where I want most of us to come together and realize something. We keep depending on the police and the letters to help us. I want y'all to depend on one group, and which we don't even have no more. It's called Neighborhood Watch. See, community and policing might have left, but what y'all didn't know is they left an open for Neighborhood Watch. And inside that Neighborhood Watch, a lot of y'all can get a small funding to bring people to train you about security in your neighborhood. But let's bring it out to another thing. Trafficking thrives on racism. So I'm gonna end this with this big hoo-ha right here. I don't know how I did. I never know how I did. I didn't like it, but that's not the point, because I had to be very technical. And teaching on my days off, because Gizmo is out of school this week. So teaching on my days off is just like, I still got a couple of more to do. But I wanna talk about how trafficking and racism goes hand in hand. The traffickers play on y'all feelings. When they're ready to start an uproar, they will steal a white child. To one white child, add 25 black and indigenous kids to it. So to one white child, 50 other children go missing. Which child are they going to go look for? I'm going to pause for dramatic effect. Y'all want to say this has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with it. United States is built off blood. Hell, England built off blood. Hell, Ireland built off blood. Any country with power is built off blood. Racism is the only place in the United States where it triggers a certain action. In 2001, when we had 9/11, on the days that they were looking for terrorists, they stole one white child and 150 other kids went missing on that one day. You'll never find the statistics anywhere. Those of us who worked and had badges on, we know about this. And I tell you what happened. They wanted to put all hands on deck to find that one white child. And then there were some of us out there that's saying, listen, while y'all doing that, we going to do this. 2008, when they said that Black Lives Matter, they said that 2 white girls had gotten missing and 17 black and indigenous teenagers went missing and were unalived. Collateral damage is what they call us. Y'all keep putting one thing to one side and everything the other side, but if we address a couple of things, trafficking will go away. When I mean go away, I don't mean being as big as it is, because it's bigger than what y'all think. Just because y'all see a movie on Hollywood, then y'all want to go in an uproar and say, let's donate to this. While you donating to certain big people, I want you to ask the question, who are they CEOs? Let's end that, because I know YouTube gonna get upset. So let's end this. I'm gonna end this like this, because I'm going to end it with an open ending. My open ending is this. A lot of people want to know about human trafficking. A lot of people want to understand and unpack what it means. But a lot of y'all don't want to sit and do the research of it. And I don't mean reading books that was made by some of the big bosses of human trafficking. Because a lot of us don't want to see that people that are in big positions are a part of these rings. If P. Diddy didn't teach you anything, let it teach you this. If Epstein Island didn't teach you anything, let me teach you this. We, communities like us that work our asses off, are the playground to those of them with money. If you got a big house and you got over $10,000 in your bank account, then you are able to play with people's lives. This ain't something new, people. They've been doing this since the Dark Ages. What is new is this. A lot of us don't sit down and cover our eyes up and pretend like we ain't see that. See no evil, hear no evil, think no evil. Was not made for a positive rendition for y'all to say the devil hands, idle hands is the devil work. You know why they say that? Because people who do nothing are the people that help the traffickers benefit more. Ooh. Y'all need to catch part 2. January 15th. I hope y'all enjoyed this. And if you whisper, I don't know if you're not a whisperer, I'm not going to hear you no more. By the way, why we here? In order for y'all to be able to keep contacting me in 2025, you need to be a whisperer. There is a free option. There is a paid option. You need to be a whisperer. Because what I realize is a lot of y'all like to get the benefits and not do the work. It takes 5 minutes to join something. Not even 5. Well, if you old like me and got to call your teenagers, it take them 2 minutes to get to you. And it only takes about 2 minutes. But it takes 5 minutes to join it. If you actually want to do something, start with action. Words don't mean nothing to me. But if you whisper, I'm going to read your comment. And only if you whisper am I going to hear you. It's the Baby Whisperer, Captain Williams Patton, and the movement. The Baby Whisperer movement, Whisper Investigation, and Intelligent Connections. There are 3 of us. 1 umbrella, 3 companies. Or maybe it's going to be 4. See y'all in 2025.